Senator Nick Xenophon and journalist Peter Green have lamented the lack of anything like The Daily Show or The Colbert Report in Australia. For Green, this is a field in which we cannot let the Americans win, because we are a nation known the world over for an inability, or at least a reluctancy, to take ourselves seriously. I believe this is exactly why we can't produce shows like The Daily Show. Because we take ourselves so unseriously in Australia, I mean honestly, this is our police service, we have a completely different way of doing satire. In Australia, what passes for political satire is ridicule. The audience has to have someone to look at as the butt of the joke, and laugh because it feels superior to the person. Australian comedy then tends to attack the messenger and not the message. A great example of this can be seen in Norman Gunston. When Norman conducts an interview, we're not only laughing at him, but more so his ability to take the absolute mickey out of the famous, talented people, to bring them down a couple of pegs. Australia has suffered a bit from this long poppy syndrome for a long time, and it is deeply rooted in our culture, so much so that it spills out into more than our comedy. Donald Horne presents this well in his book The Lucky Country when he writes, "Much energy is wasted on pretending to be stupid. To appear ordinary, just like everybody else, is sometimes a necessary condition for success in Australia. When Australia does satire, the message we convey is, look at what these wankers did. What idiots. The kind of satire The Daily Show presents sends an entirely different message. More like, why is this happening? Is this really the best we can do?" The closest thing, at least recently, that Australia has come to emulating The Daily Show is probably The Weekly with Charlie Pickering. The Weekly focuses more on social justice issues rather than just taking swipes at politicians, but it still falls into the trap of focusing on the messenger and not the message. It has also been criticized for being unoriginal, copying too much from the American style seen in The Daily Show and Last Week Tonight. So it seems Australian satirical programs are in a bit of a weird place, being asked to be like that of America, but remain completely original. Along with this, a lot of people in the comedy industry have put running a satirical show into the too hard basket, partially because television comedy as a whole is a struggling market here. When the obvious career path for local comedians is to head overseas, why build a bunch of jokes based on politicians and references no one overseas will get? Along with this, to air a show on the ABC, you have to adhere to their editorial guidelines that mandate balance in political coverage, making satire harder to pull off, especially when only one party is in power. Australia has a long history of great satirical comedy shows, and it's disheartening to look at how far we've come. Satire used to be something we praised. In 1966, Australia aired its first satirical program, The Mavis Bramston Show, and it won 3 Logies over its running course. The closest thing a program that was evenly mildly satirical has come to winning lately was in 2006, when The Glass House was nominated in the category of Most Popular Light Entertainment or Comedy Program. It was beaten by Dancing with the Stars.